The President of the Republic is an institution. The President of the Republic is the guarantor of our national integrity. The President of the Republic is in Switzerland, where some Cameroonians are actually manifesting against his presence in Geneva. Of course, we shall equally be talking the COVID-19 pandemic with this new traditional treatment. They call it co-cure. And of course, Feca Foot, after adopting the text, what next? We have men of substance, men of caliber here with us. I'll begin with him. They call him, of course, Dawuda Mbumbu. He is, of course, an author and a jurist. Of course, Hassan Sama, a conflict resolution expert. Hassan Sama, you are welcome to the Republican debate.
Thank you, Mr. Tabi, for once more inviting me to your platform. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be here. I'm grateful.
We are equally grateful to have the president of the United Cameroon for Peace and Progress political party. He is really manifesting. What is your take on that? Can we have the title on the screen, Eludu, please?
Yeah, Mr. Tabi, we have, as you rightly put it, it has become a cause for concern for all of us that the president of the country goes out and it becomes a whole topsy-turvy activities within its own citizen. It is unfortunate. But I think that I will look at it at three different angles. The first thing is the people who are out there on the streets wanting to talk to their president. Who are these people? These are some of our brothers and sisters who left here in a very hidden manner. Either they were chased out of this place. I remember that there are many of the some of those activists in Europe that I know who were university students here, who were dismissed and were banned from ever being admitted in any university in Cameroon. When you do that to your children, you throw the children out to the hawks, and the children can come out in different colors, and that's the color they're coming back. The second thing is that, why are they manifesting? Because change, as I think, that will come to Cameroon will come from within us here. It will not be necessary from out there. I am not in any way saying that what they are doing out there is not important. It is very important because we saw her in South Africa and other African countries. The manifestation from without brought some changes. Now, they are manifesting outside there because here it is impossible. Here, it is only one party that can manifest, the CPDM. Any other person cannot be.
So to you, it's normal that they should actually.
Yeah. So now they have now discovered a newfound freedom where everybody has right to talk, maybe to call to question how management of this society is going on. And then the last one is, why is it that the powers that be, knowing fully well that Cameroonians need change, Cameroonians are not satisfied the way things are being run, why is it that the powers that be cannot sit down with its own citizens and they talk? What type of a regime is this? That for almost 40 years, to the best of my knowledge, I've never had an opportunity for this regime. What type of regime? I'm talking of the head of the regime, to sit with other Cameroonians who think differently like him, to talk about Cameroon. Why does he think that only he has an infused knowledge about Cameroon? Only he can give all the solution to Cameroon. These are some of the things when people are blocked, when freedom of expression have been stifled. The only way out is that people react in any form, maybe orthodox or unorthodox.
When I hear you talk, you are supporting what is happening in Switzerland.
What is taking place in Switzerland needs to be replicated back home here.
Okay.
And before I was coming here, I read from the social media that one opposition political party has just sent its declaration that on the 27th or I think 25th or 27th, something like that, they intend to demonstrate back home here. And I'm telling them that that is the best. They should take the cue from outside and see how far we can go here.
Okay, we have heard you. Mr. Dauda, what is your take about what is happening in Switzerland?
Thank you, Mr. Tabi. Why all those noises? Why all those noises? It's because simply there are people who are not satisfied or happy to certain manner or way to do things, and they choose to make them understand by that way. But the problem we can ask is to know if the way they choose to do it is the best or the right way. Those people are not really identified, because there are people who say that they are coming from Bas, but you know there are many others who are asking for other things. They are not happy because of the management of the country and so on and so forth. And we can say that if you have the right of manifestation, you can even protest when you are not happy, but you have to follow a rule to do it. Even in those Western country, we have a rule. All those manifestations, we don't say no. We don't say it's not good to protest. It's very nice because it's your liberty. You are firm, your liberty. Even last week, people were manifesting against Macron. We saw it. It's normal. But the way to do it, that's the problem. Because BIA is an institution. Even if you are going to Switzerland for private visit or easy, is an institution. We have to protect our country. We have to protect the image of our country. It's very important because other people are doing that. So I also want to invite the government to pay attention to those part of, because we are all Cameroonian. Nobody wants division. We want only to live in peace, where there is something we can share, and you have a right to say something in your country. That's what they want. But if, in spite of that, they are all of, like just a year before, their students were banned from university. It's better for me to put them in the table and maybe to talk with them. But I cannot allow that an institution like the other state is disturbed in that way. That's my point of view.
Okay. When the head of state is being attacked, Raymond Elumer, is the image of Cameroon that is tarnished. Do you share that opinion?
Yes, very much. When you say why the much noise, we are on holiday, so you will not get teachers saying to students that stop noise. In physics, in electronics, noise is an unwanted signal which causes interference in the normal transmission of the ray signal. So if we have to talk about the fact that we have individuals who are making noise, no, it's not really noise in that sense, because if you are driving a car, you are on a straight road, and you hear the sound of a blast, which is the tires, that noise is to tell you that there is a problem with the car. Or if you hear the crankshaft making any noise. So noise in absolute terms is not a bad thing. It may be to inform you that there is a problem which you have to look at. Now we have, as per our constitution, the fact that we don't accept double nationality. So the first issue is that those who are protesting, are they double nationals? Are they Cameroonians per se? Is it because they have a newfound environment in which there is a certain liberty? I would say there's a certain liberty because even in the environment in which they find themselves, there is no absolute freedom of speech. Is it because they are in a certain environment which allows them to do such? We have in our country a history of manifestation. We even saw on the press review that you have former employees of an ex-company who were manifesting, and the head of that institution was telling the employees that, okay, their problems will be looked at, but that they should stop the manifestation. My own take is that in chemistry, for example, if you boil an egg,
you always talk us back to science.
Yes, if you boil an egg, because I'm from a scientific background, if you boil an egg, it is in a controlled environment, and the water which helps you in boiling that egg brings about a change of the egg in a solid form, which means that the egg, the collagen which is contained in the egg has transformed now from the raw egg to a boiled egg, which means that just like Sam Hassan was saying, change can only come from within. We believe that there may be external forces, but the change that people require can only come from within. And we believe that people should come back to the country, get jobs in the country, create political parties like my brother Cham Roland Moa, who expresses a different view from the mainstream view of the CPDM, but he's listened to. We are all here, we are different, we have our different views, but it doesn't mean that we cannot debate in a Republican manner as to a Republican issue, such as preserving the status of an institution which is the President of the Republic.
Roland Moa, you are the president of the United Cameroon for Peace and Progress Party. You have been following up what is happening in Switzerland. What is your take on that?
You know, Mr. Tabi Clarkson, we Cameroonians have reached a point where Cameroonians are tired of the regime. You know, 40 years is not 40 days. You know, Cameroon paid the 1990 liberty laws that brought forth the expression of speech and freedom of expression is just in paperwork. So those guys in the diaspora are people who left Cameroon because of hard life, I think. And most of them in Cameroon, you cannot you go on the street. The government does not want that. So the point is that you read an SGO to get permission for street manifestation, you will never get it. If you are not from the civilian party, you will never get it. But the point is that we are sending this message to Mr. Biya because he's the main focus in Switzerland. And Mr. Biya needs to understand that it is time for him to rest because he is the center of all the problem. We should not beat around the bush. Things are very difficult in Cameroon without money situation. Why? Because when the president stays in power for too long, there's uncertainty at the level of the presidency. People steal money because they don't know how tomorrow will be. So we are calling on Mr. Biya not to do what the people did in Ivory Coast. The president died and he was hidden for 9 months. He left no consigne, as you can see in the preaching. One Mr. Biya to leave a consigne. This time, as a matter of did, but this time in a different way, opening a way for a peaceful transition that will lead to democratic elections. That's why Cameroonians can choose of who they want to continue with the very difficult task of making our country to develop. I cannot lie to you that Cameroon is a very difficult country to lead. So many ethnic groups, so many diversities. People who have gone to school abroad and in and out of the country. They need government position. To put them into that position, those positions is very difficult. And I want you to understand that there's no government in the world that can employ youth who are coming from university. But the government has failed us in so many ways. You know, the private sector is not booming. The private sector has to give us jobs. The government has been sleeping. So Mr. Biya has used land. So the major problem of these issues is that most Cameroonians, especially those of English expression and other Cameroonians of French expression, have not felt the smell of national cake. If you give me the permission with another question, I will explain to you why the people are striking in Geneva.
Why are they striking? Do you think it's normal to attack the President of the Republic?
They have no right to attack the President of the Republic because he's an institution, by our constitution. And Mr. Biya is still the elected of the people, by the 2018 universal suffrage. So but I think they have a right because in Cameroon you cannot do it. They are going to talk to Mr. Biya to tell him their grievances. But it is becoming a riot because the government does not always want people to talk to them. As Mr. Hassan said, the government has a spirit of dictatorship. They tell you what to do, what to eat, what to do, and it is not good in a modern war. I think we have a God who is an imperial leader, who is not elected nor voted. But the presidents are elected and voted, and the presidency is not for for somebody. So they need to come and go. I was talking with my elder brother here that Cameroon has not developed because since independence we have had one system, which is a marginalized system, where the center power is left only in the south region. For example, we have mentioned 30 seconds. Out of the 10 divisional officers, out of the 15 divisional officers, 28 are from the south region. Out of the 360 municipal subdivision officers, 200 are from the south region. Out of the 10 regional governors, 1 and 6 are from the south region. Long Panga Mekin, all these things are in the south region. DJSN, all the people at the presidency from the south region. So the national cake has taken the south region. So most Cameroonians are angry, and they have discovered that over the years they have been able to fight through the ballot box. So that's why they are making their voices heard out of the ballot box, because they believe that the system has always rigged elections. So democracy has been a door closed to Cameroonians. So it is a folklore in the system that they say go and vote, go and vote. So if you look well, Mr. Tabi Clarkson, We have close to 31 million inhabitants. At the list of Eleka, we have just 3.5 million. It is a sabotage. It means that Cameroonians have not had that culture of always vote because they feel a rigging of elections at the end. So Mr. Biya should take this seriously. Seriously. You know, I'm a Biya for life. I'm no more a CPD. But I'm talking to Mr. Biya as my mentor that it is time for him to understand that he needs to leave power peacefully as he took it peacefully. Not because he's a bad man, but because he has reached a stage where he's no more active. And Cameroon is a very difficult country to lead. We need a younger president who will have the energy and administrative competence and the skills like you, like him, who will work and control state projects. Cameroon is governed by people who are not elected of the people. They are ministers. They lead the country anyhow they want. We need to stop that.
We have heard you, Hassan Sama. I want to believe that attacking the president of the republic normally is not normal. Normally is not normal.
We are not saying that normal. But going out to show grievances, that's the problem. You know, in Cameroon, you cannot do that. They have DJSN set and the rest.
But those doing that in Switzerland are Cameroonians.
Yeah.
And the president is a president everywhere he is, be it abroad or at home.
Let me not think that you are supporting that things are good in Cameroon.
No, I'm not saying so.
Okay.
I am not saying so. Hassan Sama.
Yeah, you know, you are the one who has chosen your adjective to sort of attack. I don't know how they have attacked the president of Switzerland. The people say they are going to manifest, which all of us here, we have all accepted that to go out and express your opinion, it is not bad. I don't know where they have attacked the president. The people say they are going out. And what we are counting if we have a president who is a Democrat, who was elected by the people, and that those people out there elected him too. I think that this is a golden opportunity for him to come out and ask his children what is happening. Because he may even tell them that he doesn't know what is happening, which is possible. He will now ask them, and they will remind him that, Mr. President, are you aware that 180 million francs that was given for COVID, we are 24 ministers shared it? Are you aware that the can that you said it will take place on the UG did not take place? There are many things they will tell him, and he will say, hey, in that case, what Cameroonian wants to hear from him is, I have hurt you people. I will do something.
You will still have the time for me to ask this question. It's true that we have some pro-supporters of Biya in Switzerland equally. And the president came out to say no peace, 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 no confrontations between Cameroonians. We can say that he is a father.
Yeah, but I think that you are not naive. I know you are a journalist, investigative journalist. I know you for that. I equally know that the question you ask is not because you don't know the answers. It's because you want us maybe to come out of our mouth to tell the public. What is happening if there's any confrontation in Switzerland? It is the regime that has set it in place. Because the regime is fond of trying to derail people. You see that what is going on now? We are talking of Cameroonians who want to manifest, and you are talking of attacking the president. You have even forgotten that they ate more than 3,000 billion. That 180 million has gone. We are almost forgetting it, and now we are now talking about things that do not matter. Because if the president, and then this idea of you people always giving this impression as if we have a president who is a demigod, people should not talk to him, is wrong. That president is a servant. He was elected by us to save us. He has to give account to us, not us giving him account. How then do you meet your servant if he doesn't give you room that you people should discuss? And if other Cameroonians have had the opportunity to talk, we should be the ones to tell the president that, Mr. President, seize this opportunity and do something. But I want to learn by telling you that I still believe Mr. Paul Biya is not a fool. I still believe he's more intelligent than most all of us here. And we are waiting for that miracle to happen. That let him put an end to all these troubles in Cameroon by listening to the people and take advantage there and talk to the Anglophone diaspora who are the ones sponsoring the war here. Let him take this opportunity. When I heard that he went out with just his wife and his private secretary, Ayolo, I was happy that he doesn't want distractions. So we are waiting today to see Mr. Pobia a patriarch
It's true that
who has reached,
a private visit, but he is working, eh?
There's no private visit for a president.
Yeah, he is working.
Because he's working everywhere he is.
At all times.
And then to learn, the problem that is going on in other countries, when the chief servant of the country is out of the country, the citizen know where he's going to and why he's going. Do you imagine that if Mr. President had made a communique that he is going out for health reasons, Cameroonian will come out to say he should die? But nobody knows why he's going out for. Say, let him be open to the people who voted him to serve them.
Mr. Dauda, President Biya has called for calm, no confrontations between the sons and daughters of Cameroon in Switzerland. It's a good signal, Mr. Dauda.
Yes, Mr. Tabi, thank you. The president is in his role, you know, because he don't belong to, at that time, to any party. He's a statesman. He don't have any...
he is the president of all Cameroonians.
Yes, he cannot take part of those low debate, I can say it like that. But let us say something, which is very important. We have to educate our people, our population. It's very important. That's the reason why I appreciate this type of debate, because it's a part of that activities. And most the political leader, they have to do that work. It's their own work. Because a political leader cannot come and ask for fight and call for violence. It's not responsible. I think that if Mr. Biya was doing it, maybe it will be a war in this country. I don't say that we should take that example. But I want also to say something that it can go for private or official. That is not the name, the word as is right. You know, when they say private, it's private. When it's, because he cannot do certain activity when it's an official. But let me remind something also that the thing those of our fellows Cameroonians are doing there, my problem is that they are not taking the good way to do it. But it's normal, because in the political system, what you call in political science a black box, we have in one part the government, and in another part those who are governed. And now, if those who are governed does not fight for their right, they will not even progress. That's what they call, that Eastern, who define it very well in what they call black box, in that theory of political sciences. So you will see that they are in that work now, because they know what they are doing. They protest because they want to attack. It's not the person of Biya, but it's the symbol. Because President Biya is the president of the republic. You know, he cannot maybe attack you and have that sound. That is what they do it. And they know why they are doing it. And also the government take time to reply. And they know also the strategy they can put it. That is the political system, how it's working. You have the government who is trying to put the law, who can favor them, and you have those who are governed who try as possible to tackle the government. So it's normal, but we don't need violence in all those struggle. We don't need violence, because we can debate, we can talk, we can put the rule, because I think that we are in a society. And since you belong to the society, you accept to cancel some of your egocentrism and put to the general interest. That's what we can say. So, but we will reach at them. We have only 60 years of independence, but we want everything now. We want everything now. But we have the example. But we have the example of Western country. That means that we can go far in that struggle for freedom. So let us work really, because we don't want to work. We just want to achieve. We just go up. We want to be at the presidency. You can serve your country everywhere, at every level. Starting by the taxi you take, starting by the driver of the taxi, who can say hello when you enter. It's starting from the people who take you to the airport. It's starting there. So don't always think that
you have to start from the top.
Stop it from the top.
Okay. Can we take this excerpt from the Senator Mafia with the collaboration of Ledoux and Serge Mbida, the excerpt of the senator?
We as parliamentarians want to make it very clear that there is only one country that we have, and that country is Cameroon. And the structures that this country has belong to all of us. And some Cameroonians cannot take upon themselves to always destroy or attack those structures. The embassies provide the services for Cameroonians without looking at the background, whether you are from a different religion or from a different tribe. So we say that you cannot destroy this structure because only taxpayers' money will build back these structures. Everything you destroy about our country will be borne by taxpayers both at home and abroad. Cameroonians will have to build back these structures. So we as parliamentarians are appealing to Cameroonians living abroad, our brothers, that it is very easy to destroy but very difficult to build. We know very well what we are going through right now. We know that there is economic crisis, there is COVID, and there are so many other things. We cannot be wasting most of our monies to build our structures that have been burnt, those structures that have been destroyed. So as parliamentarians, we say that we have just one country, and that country is Cameroon. Today, tomorrow, we shall all have our country as Cameroon. The head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, in his Article 5 and Article 8 of the Constitution, is an institution on its own. And we believe that we cannot be attacking our own institutions. Our argument should be channeled to recognized institutions. And all of us know recognized institutions in this country. We as lawmakers, we as those who accompany the government, we are appealing to all Cameroonians that Cameroon is a state of law. And everybody must abide by those rules and regulations governing this country. We as a parliamentary network, we have been fighting tooth and nail to try to attend to some of the problems of our brothers living abroad. And as you know, the two presidents of the National Assembly and the president of the Senate, they created this network so that we can accompany the government in tackling some of their problems. That we also see about a double nationality that some of us are craving and yearning for. But how do you collaborate with those who are following up this issue? How do you make it possible? How do you make it easy for them? How do you make the government to entertain your complaint? How do you convince the government? It's by respecting legal institutions. These are the institutions that govern this republic. These are the institutions that run this country. The head of state has just made it possible to have a passport in 48 hours. Those are the structures. If we burn the structures, how will they have passports to come back home? How will they integrate our country? So we are saying that they should accompany us, the network, in making it possible for them to achieve their goals, to attain their goals. We as representatives of people will relent no effort in making sure that their integration can be smooth and even smoother if they collaborate, if they work with the institutions. So I want to thank everybody. I want to express our gratitude to the two houses of Parliament for creating this network to accompany the government. Thank you very much.
we just listened to Senator Andrew there of the CPDM party. Raymond Elume, any remark on that?
No, I think his appeal is quite good for people who have ears to listen. But I think we have a lot to learn from history. January of this year, Americans attacked their institution, which was Capitol Hill. And now, the current President, Biden, is working very hard such that such an incident could not repeat itself, and trying to understand what made people of the purported Republican Party attack the institution, which was Capitol Hill. That is what we call democracy. It means that you have to get a listening ear as to what was the cause of the problem. The problem with Cameroon is that we don't want to go to the root of the problem. Another incident happened this year where a certain individual slapped an institution, which was the president of France, President Macron. He was judged by the institutions of the country and by the law and sentenced, but it doesn't mean that he did not have his basic human rights.
Are you encouraging that?
No, what I'm saying, no, I'm not encouraging institutions. No, what I'm saying is that we have to go to the root cause of a problem so that we should avert such things from not happening. It is not today that the private visit of the president was known or it was announced. It was long before, and you have people who have been on the ground in preparing that if he comes, this is what will happen. So it means that there was a better way of averting what happened, not so that it should not happen. That's why I say we have to get a listening ear. The problem with what is happening today, with this our generation today, is that we don't want to listen to a different idea which is different from us. We have to learn to accept other ideas, other expressions, divisions even, such that we can progress as a group. Institutions are sacred, yes. I remember there's a one-time American president who said we should work hard to build stronger institutions than building stronger people. Yes, in a sense, he was right. But the thing is that how then do you preserve these institutions so that they should be stronger, so that they should serve the purpose for which they were created? The presidency as an institution should be stronger by it providing the people that it serves the possibilities that they deserve. Just like in
Cameroon, for example, we have stronger institutions or stronger men.
In Cameroon, let's be honest, we have stronger men. That is why, yes, that is why you instead of us knowing UCPP, we instead know Chia Roland. That is the problem we have in Cameroon. What I've also seen and noticed is that there are many people out there who came out to say this is not right. Chia Roland is one of them. I think you have President Prince Ekoso, who was another one. Cabral Libi came out to say that this is not right. But now, are we going to look at the root cause of the problem? There was a conference on the diaspora, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. What was the first claim that they made? They said, we want to come and invest in our country, but our country does not give us the opportunity to come and invest because as of now, we are not accepting dual nationality. A parliamentarian cannot tell us that you can have your ID card in 2 days. So your passport in 2 days. It means you are encouraging Cameroonians to go out of the country. Do you take 2 days to get your own nationality that you should be proud of? That is a question we should ask ourselves. So I think we should be proud of saying that I opened my company in 24 hours. I was able to file in my tax returns in 24 hours. That is how a country works. Not that I've been able to get a passport in 2 days. For me, that is a wrong approach. Unless we come back to the approach in which the institution serves the public and not the way around, we have not yet reached the core problem or the root cause of the problem.
Chair, we just followed Senator Andrew. Any remarks after what he said?
Yeah, he said things which were nice to hear, but they are not practical. You know, he is from the CPDM party. There's nothing he can say out of clapping the drum that fits him. So he cannot go and say bad thing to Biya because he might lose his job. So
is the UCPP not an ally to the CPDM?
No, we are not an ally to the CPDM. We are just Biyaist.
What do you mean by Biyaist and not an ally to the CPDM?
Yes,
is the CPDM not Biya? Is Biya not the CPDM?
No. Yes, we are looking at Biya as a person, not as the president of the CPDM party. The CPDM is our biggest enemy. Why? Because we have discovered in the past 10 years that the CBN is not a political party. There's a government mechanism for government mafia. How can you tell me that the CBN should be everywhere? Why are they taking that money? It's impossible to have a party everywhere. All the agents are CBN, all the government are CBN. It's not a political party. It is a channel for government mafia. So that's why we repented and created one.
So you are a BIist?
I'm a BIist, but I'm not an RDPC.
That is a curiosity, yeah?
No, listen. Mr. Bia is my biggest enemy.
Mr. Bia
is my biggest enemy as the president of the CBN party. I want him down because I want the presidency. The true democratic election, not by the gun.
Yeah.
And now, Mr. Bia is my friend and mentor as Mr. Bia as the head of state.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So let me answer your question. All what we will do here and say is important, but we waste our time if we don't look at the right thing to do. What those guys are doing in diaspora, they have a point, but they are going in the wrong way. Those guys in diaspora should come back home and join the political party. As my brother said, he has a very big point. Let us chase away this regime that has made us beggars in our own country. It is the only way. If we speak and it is not going to work. They have to be patient and wait on Mr. Bia to leave power by 2025 or through anticipated elections. Mr. Classen, the only solution in Cameroon is to send out the regime in place. And we are calling on Cameroonians to do that through the ballot box. We are calling on the diaspora to mobilize their ideas, their ideologies out away from separation, out away from marginalization, out away from the battle. We should come back home and join democracy. It's difficult for you to live around there and be a mayor in somebody's village. We should stop that. You should be a mayor in your village. You should be a mayor in your village, parliamentarian. So we should come back and use democracy. It is the only way universally accepted to have political.
So you are calling those in the diaspora to come back home,
come back and join
create political parties,
yes, so
and go in for elections.
They can be mayors and senators to develop the town the way they want. But they are making anything noise in the streets. They know it will not help them. Even if they go and bought him Pobia or slap him, it's not going to help anything. They are just making one-man show. It's one-man show. It has no impact. They're discussing themselves. Because as we speak, Mr. Bia is still president of Cameroon. And if you go and attack that kind of person, you don't have blessing. But the Bible says that if you don't respect the institution,
you don't have blessing.
You don't have automatically. Every Mr. Bia is back to you. He has stayed in power for so long to you. That you have to fight him through the democracy. You are not saying Bia must go. You are looking for prison. But normally, 2018 presidential elections, Bia is still president of Cameroon. So it's very dangerous telling an elected president to leave because you need power. What? Those people should wait.
They should come back home.
Come back home in 2025. They cannot come back home now.
Create political parties.
And look for power to the ballot box. It's possible.
We are concluding on this first topic. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. I begin with you, Hassan Samaya. Last word on this first topic.
Yeah, I have listened to my co-panelists with a lot of attention, especially moi, who seem to have really come back. Yeah, and I think that only a fool will not change his opinion when he discovers that he's going to hit his face on the wall. Exactly. So I want to thank him for that. And I equally think too so that Bia is not a fool. Let him change the strategy that he's doing. Let him make Cameroonians feel that they voted him. I've heard some people talk of that the diaspora should come back. But I think somebody here on this panel has said the diaspora have been complaining that they want to come back home, but the enabling environment is not there. How do they want them to come back home? Those of you who are president of a political party, what is the function of a political party? Is to go out, educate the masses, look for votes and the like. Can you do it? Can you go out and manifest? Can you go out to even hold a meeting in your house?
The Lord blocks you.
Even meeting in your private home. So we should not say one thing and the opposite. Those people, while they are fighting, many of them have reached the age of retirement. The zeal with which they were doing their work and living their lives is fast fading out. They want to come home. And so they want to see, how do we come home? Wow. This is the very thing that we are today talking about, a war situation in Southern Cameroon. Because Cameroonians like us came on studios like this and said that no, Pope Bia has his own way, he does his thing. And we have remained watching him destroy the country to where we are today until he himself cannot know what to do. I think that there was an error sometimes in a situation. If you don't have something to say, don't just say it because you may spoil it. Frankly speaking, until the day I saw a silhouette at the Simale International Airport that is called Paul Biya going out. I never believed Biya was existing. Because I cannot understand that for 2 years, his people have been weeping, crying. COVID came. The Anglophone problem is escalating on a daily basis, and he remains quiet. And he only comes out to go to enjoy. But why he's going to enjoy. And so that's one of the reasons that
he's going to work or to enjoy.
No. He could go him to he could go him to north. He could go him to the north. He would go him to Chang, to Kribi, and sit there and he would still work. Now, those our brothers in the diaspora, before I even say, I'm happy that all of us here now we're no longer calling them terrorists or people anti-patriots, because the government has started changing language, calling them compatriots. It's good. That is how you want peace to come. You must be humble. Now that they're calling them compatriots, those are compatriots. The question they're asking themselves is that, hey, so this our father was alive, and all this cacophony was going around. This is where that's the question they're asking. And I think I will still end up by saying that here is a golden opportunity for the patriarch, Mr. Paul Biya. Come out, meet your people. I want to assure you, if Paul Biya comes out, all those boys making noise, they will not talk. Paul Biya is not just any child. They will not talk. They will just see him like this. They will ask, why are you people here? They will not talk. That is the same thing that when this war that he declared in Northwest, when he discovered that he had gone off guard, if he went to Bamenda, just dropped at the central town Bamenda and asked the people that, I have heard you people. That's how I've been living us.
Okay.
I've heard you people. I want to assure you,
we have also heard
you. It would have not reached this stage where we are.
We have also heard you, Hassan Sama.
Yes.
Dauda?
That's very good.
We are ending on this first topic. Your conclusion, please.
It's a very good point of view. Just here, we need to be humble, open our hand, because we are all Cameroonian. To now, government did a little bit effort. They are calling those who were the terrorists yesterday now the compatriot. It's okay, it's nice, because Cameroon is one and indivisible. That is clear. For this matter, we cannot discuss. For another thing, we can even discuss, but we have to follow the line. But for other things, let government to open themselves to their appeal. If they want, for example, since they are too much outside, if they want, for example, to have, I don't say a ministry, no, let me say maybe a secretary of state in charge of the
diaspora.
Yeah, of the diaspora, for example. Why? It's possible. Under the Ministry of External Relations, it's possible. You can give them. But I think that the president, who is a man of peace, I'm not part of the CPDM. He's a man of peace. Maybe he will be here. He will hear them. Maybe do something. But the problem is that when they try to solve a problem, there are certain group of people who do not want.
So that we all agree that President Paul Biya is a man of peace. We all agree.
You have shown that. You have shown that.
After the Bakassi issue,
we can notice it.
On several occasions, he actually came out asking the Anglophones.
He still remain constant. He still remain constant. He still remain constant.
Yes.
In that process.
He is a man of peace.
He's open. He's very open.
In Switzerland, he has called people for
peace, for
calm. Yeah. Okay, we say thank you for that conclusion. Raymond Elume, we are concluding on this first topic. What do you have to say?
Well, I always have a problem with people who say that we need more time. I'm in sports. China became a democratic country in 1949. 60 years after, 2009, China was one of the top 5 countries in the world. When I listened to Mr. Dauda say that we have just had 60 years of independence, I know of a bicycle rider who is going to become, or who became Tour de France champion at 21 years. I know of a Spanish player, Pedri, who played 6 matches in the Euro at 18 years. That is, he was sharper than Iniesta, sharper than Xavi, even better playing than them. So when you say time, well, we have had 60 years, no. I believe that if we put all our hands on deck, we can make this country progress. It depends on the will, and it depends on if we have the initiative to make this country progress. There are dissenting voices, but I still believe that if we put all our hands on deck, be it diaspora, be it locally, we can have the required Cameroon that we want. I want to give you an example. The last time I climbed an electric stairs was in 1992. I was going to accompany my uncle who was going to England. But now look at what happened. Last year, the Douala Grand Mall opened. Look at the scene that we have. People had never ever seen an electric stairway. They were behaving very childish. And people were snapping it. In the 21st century, that tells you that there has been a stagnation in development. And if we don't have a steady development year by year, we are going to stagnate as much as possible. So my main cry is that let's put all our hands on deck and develop this lovely country that we call Cameroon.
Chair Roland.
How I wish I could just repeat what Mr. Hassan has said, and but let me just add something.
Yeah.
I've said a lot of things that which are very vital. Mr. Bia is used to the system of working with the administration only. Yeah, for 40 years he has worked only with the administration, leaving the economy to lie. Do you know why? He has been scared to raise businessmen that will come and fight him. If you ask me, I'll tell you why. Most of the business partners who came to Cameroon to open companies that have gone to Gabon and Chad. Why? Because our tax system are very harsh to people who are out of the CPDM. And if you are out of the CPDM, like you are from the MRDC or any other political party, if your road is to pass through your quarter, they will say, no, who are living in your quarter? Are they CPDM? Are they this? We need to change that. And I think Mr. Bia has taken all our taxpayers' money and put in administration. If you wake up Bia in the morning and say, what kind of energy can we put in the Northwest? Or what government can we put in the Southwest? He will tell you. Then Mr. Bia cannot tell you how we can tie a road. He cannot tell you how we can raise companies. Cameroon is still a country which is very backward. So we are calling on Mr. Bia that it is high time for him to leave power. It's the only solution because he has worked so hard. Mr. Bia is not a bad person. He has worked so hard. And a lot has been said, but little has been done. The diaspora are crying. Most of them, they are fugitives. They cannot come. They are on asylum. So they are just, if Mr. Bia could speak, he does not speak. Samuel Ayolo is not elected of the people. Let me land, please. 30 seconds. Yeah. Samuel Ayolo is not elected of the people. He writes for Bia. Famdongo is not elected of the people. He's a minister appointed because of CPDM shit. They are eating government money and they cannot say anything bad about the government. So we need Mr. Bia to come out and talk to the diaspora in Swiss that what do you want? What can we do? That's all. Somewhere Vondo Ayolo and all the Mongols, they are not elected of the people. It's very dangerous. Mr. Bia is the elected of the people for the 2018 presidential.
Maybe he appointed them to do that job.
No. He has
the right to do so.
And sovereignty involves.
He has the right to do so.
No, we don't support sovereignty.
Mr. Dauda, I wanted to.
I just want to learn, to say just one word. Mr. Dume,
Raymond Elume
say something which is very pertinent with the development he's doing. I appreciate. But let me tell him that, maturity is something a child cannot understand. I don't say you are a child. Generally, a child cannot understand. Because when you face in certain situations, that's when you understand how the world, because it's not part of Cameroon, it's not only Cameroon. It's not Cameroon. That is what they call in France le nouvel ordre mondial, who apply on us too. And we have to face on that situation. But what I wanted to say is that, Mr. Tabi, don't see infrastructure like development. The real development, the only one development we can have is the mental development. It's in our head. If you build all the breathing you want, and you are not really developed, you cannot be able to take care of that building. It will be impossible. That's what they call elephant blanc in some other part of the world. So we have to be very careful.
Development is not infrastructure.
It's not only infrastructure.
I want to cue in from where he's landing just to add some flesh. Let our listeners not think that he's talking of certificate. The brain is not certificate.
Yes.
Because how people are carrying certificate up and down.
No, it's not certificate.
You cannot do anything.
No.
Okay. It's not certificate.
It's different.
Let's move on to our second topic. We are now talking the COVID-19 pandemic. Co-occur a new era for traditional medicines. That is the question that we have for our second topic. Can we have it on the screen? Ledoux, please. We don't have much time again. I begin with you, Hassan Sama. It's nice to know that we have a cure for COVID-19.
Well, I want to be very honest to our public that I don't really master what is called what you have said. But I will be happy that you could start from other panelists and may learn from them and be able to chip in something.
Okay, okay. Let's take of course Raymond Elume. If it's possible for us to have Raymond Elume on this topic, COVID-19, KOROQ, a new era for traditional medicine. It's true that this medicine has been approved by the Ministry of Public Health. Can we have Raymond Elume? What is your take on that? Can we say it's a good thing to have KOROQ, which can actually cure the COVID-19 pandemic?
I think it's a very, very good thing that at last traditional medicine has been accepted to give a solution to the COVID-19 pandemic. If there are certain good things that the government does, this should be certainly one of them. You know, in the 90s, after Mr. Biya went to China in the late 80s, I think it was 88 or 85, there was a partnership between Cameroon and China, and I think in the 90s, there was the Chinese scholarship in which you had Cameroonians which were sent to China to learn traditional medicine, to develop that act of traditional medicine, because we've had a lot of them here in Cameroon. I mean, there are many people who know the traditional doctors that we have here in Cameroon, but the law of Cameroon certainly defines the scope under which traditional medicine should and could operate. So you have KOROQ, which is by Dr. Eulogie. Dr. Eulogie was on one of the articles of the press review. You have the drug by Archbishop Monsignor Cleda, which has finally been accepted because it is used in all Catholic medical institutions. You have, I think, 2 others which have also been accepted. And I believe that it is true that the Cameroonian government gave liberty to Cameroonians to be able to vaccinate themselves against COVID-19. You have AstraZeneca, you have Sinopharm from China, you have Johnson & Johnson from the US. But I think the fact that the government has opened the way, because there were many people who were reticent to vaccination, the fact that the government of Cameroon has opened the way now and given them that they could fabricate these drugs under the canopy of the Directorate of Pharmacies and Drugs, because that directorate exists under the Ministry of Public Health. The fact that they should allow Cameroonians use these drugs, the testing is going to be done in the classic scientific testing module. I think it's a plus. But now, my main issue or my main worry is this. When you go out of the country, they ask you for your vaccination card. Is it that people who have taken these drugs, are they going to be eligible again for vaccination? Is it that when they take these drugs, they are not going to be required again for vaccination? Is it that when they take these drugs, if they want to go out of the country, they can still give them an eligible stamp that these people are COVID-19 free? I think that is still where the Ministry of Health has to come.
Let's take share before we take Hassan Sama.
Yeah, to continue, I must laud his effort in mastery of a lot of things. But the point is that actually, I think the cure is coming too late after a lot of barriers have been made for people with COVID. Where was the government? Was the government sleeping? We had there was some.
Is it not better? Is it not better to be late than never?
That's the word. But the point is that it's a form of negligence on the part of the government, because we had a lot of billions that was given to one ministry. We're not going to name for problem's sake, that they were supposed to produce chloroquine. I think it is a slap on the face, because Cleda was kept behind, even though he cured a lot of people. The government is just coming in too late, reluctantly. I think. It's not really good.
But finally, we have KOROQ.
To add to what our brother has said, I think every time you take the drug, you have to still take vaccine, because in France, by next week, Macron passed a law that you cannot enter restaurants or cyber cafes without a vaccination card. And every in the field, to want to watch a match of the Champions League, you have a ban. You enter with a ban, the BP, to see whether to the vaccine. So I think the vaccine is still there. And what we are seeing too is that most people who took the vaccine
in France now it's almost obligatory.
They had a magnetism on them. So the point is that we want to find out whether the vaccine has a kind of, because in my idea of science and medicine, we have seen a lot of videos of people taking the vaccines, and you see they have a magnetism here. You can even magnet a phone of 1 kilo. So it is very, it's questionable.
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Elume for at least opening my brain too. Yes, but I want to take you people back in 1991 when Cameroonians were eager for change, for democratic changes. The wind of change was blowing. The Social Democratic Front went ahead, despite all odds, launched its party, the government illegally. Let me put it that way. And when the government finally decided that they were to open up, the SDF came number 10. They went and took Gustave Saka. If you can remember him, he had already him himself as the wife. That was the first party that was legalized. Why do I take you people back? It's to ask this question. We are hearing of Koroku. We had earlier heard of other people like Samuel Kleda. Why is it that when the time has come for the government, the lazy government, to open up, they go and start with somebody? Is it not possible that maybe somebody somewhere wants to help somebody somewhere and they just do it? And then he ended up in the question that he asked, after we take what we can, let us term it local. Because that one to us, let us say local means, local does not mean that it's primitive. It's local means within our own society. Now, the white man has taken us hostage. That you don't do what I say, you have not, you don't live. If we now go in and we take this, when we are traveling as he says, you still go and take there. And now, all these multiplicities that they are mixing up, which one is really going to, how do you know which one really killed you? I think that it is high time, Africans, we should believe in ourselves. If we have made up our mind that we were something before the white man came and destabilized us, because all what the white man, all this medicine comes from us here. When they came and saw what we were doing, they were marveled. And what they did was to turn around and call us primitive people and extracted all we got, went back there, put it in machines, came back to us here. So I want to think that if the government has finally realized that we can help ourselves, so like in democracy, we can contextualize our democracy and we can go ahead. If it is that today we can go back to our local herbs and we solve our problem, let it just be so, rather than giving the impression that I don't know, I heard well, that sometimes they send some Cameroonians to go and learn traditional medicine in China. Well, we have it here. They were learning Chinese traditional medicine or African traditional medicine.
But is it not nice to go to China?
You were learning one day. No, why were you learning? You cannot go and learn your own medicine in somebody's own backyard. That is what I'm saying. So let us come back home. Let us.
Asantama, is it not a nice thing to have Koroku finally? It's a nice we had cried out for a long time that we can solve our problems in medicine, in law, and the like. Do you know that the highest democracy existed in palaces, where we had the traditional head was there, like the president. We had the notables. Before something reached him, he was the last person. Now when he used things were soft here and the like. They learned all these things from us. But you know, civilization started in Africa. Okay. Mr. Dauda?
That's a very great song coming from traditional medicine. That's very nice. They have been working since the time. And you know, our problem is that we don't believe on us. Unfortunately, we don't believe on us. When we publish, for example, a book, when we have a prize coming from abroad, when it's recognized, that when our country call us and say, okay, we are doing something, they have been working since the time. It's good now because the government maybe observe that they are a major part of the population who just go to the medicinal traditional. They don't want to go to the hospital. There's another problem. Why are they going to that side and not in that formal side? You see? And they see that maybe they understand that it's time to work with them. I want to thank those people who believe in Africa. Because for me, I think that like Nkrumah, we have to put our force together.
So you're talking of Kwame Nkrumah?
Yeah, Nkrumah, so that we can go forward. That is necessary for our country, so that we can even face Western country. I want to thank Dr. Eloge. He has been working since the time, but people, he even tried to be beside government, say I have something, and maybe when they say they see how people was going there, maybe they understand something. And Mr. Kleda, Monsignor Kleda too, Kulbetara, and those, they have to recognize them, because they have to accompany them. It's very important, because not only recognition, but you are accompanying them.
It's nice to know that traditional medicine can cure COVID-19.
All what, like my other was saying, all what we have here, they bring to the Western country and bring us back. That's the circle. When they go there, they industrialize it, and we pay at the most. We have it, all the roots, we have it here. So why the government cannot put a real politic, put money? Because if you don't do with all those things, you cannot go forward. Put resources, accompany them. We have people who are very talented people in all the domain. You can go to the sport, we can go to the. We have everything here. So I think that when we will understand that we have all means to go forward, I think that the thing like Korokyo, we can multiply by 10.
Okay.
You have it.
We shall conclude with you on this topic, because we started with you, Raymond Elume. Your last word on this?
Well, I think
there is hope.
Yes. No, my last word is that I think we have to recognize, first of all, Africa. The first country to come out with a home-based cure and protection for its country was Madagascar. We all know that Madagascar came out with not really a cure, but they came out with something which they said it was anti-COVID, and the Malagasy president was present during the production of this and said the first target that it should be shared to was to children, and after they took it 2 or 3 days after school started for them, before encouraging other families and other members and his population to take that particular cure. I think that I think we should say that this is the second time we are having a worldwide pandemic, and maybe the government is starting to realize its errors. The first time we did an error was with Professor Anomangu. Professor Anomangu had a similar cure to HIV/AIDS, but he was not recognized for his work, and he died without having the medical recognition that he wanted. So today we have people like Dr. Eloge, you have Monsignor Archbishop Kleda, you have Imam Modibo, who has come out with Sudibek Plus, you have Christelle Bekono, who has come out with, I think her drug, I've forgotten the name of her drug. But I think if these people are coming out with something traditional, it is testament to the fact that Africa, Cameroon, has so much to give in terms of medicine.
Congratulations.
Yes, and to answer Hassan's question, the fact that we're going to get this traditional medical training from China was simply because in the medical law of Cameroon, we don't recognize anything which has not passed through standardized testing to be a drug. That's why you see things like Tianchi, Forever, all those which have come, we recognize them just as ailments, medical supplements, not as classic drugs per the classical chemical.
Okay, Reverend Elume, congratulations to all those doctors.
No, congratulations to both. I mean, to the 4 of them. And you'll notice that what do we have there? We have an imam, that's Modibo, and we have a Catholic clergyman, that's Monsignor Kleda, which tells you that science works hand in hand with religion.
Science works hand in hand with religion.
Yes, I want to thank my brother very much for the clarification he has made. I just want to cue in some. He made a mention of the traditional medicine that came from Madagascar. I want to tell you, as we have been decrying here, that we have a government that is too old to follow the present context. The president of Madagascar was still a young man. He went there where they were producing. But we have a president who has a stadium 5 meters from his house. He has never gone there to see. And he even told the world that they were going to play CAN in 2019 in that stadium, which never took place. So these are some of the things. I'm now supporting President Moi, who is saying that what the man has given to us, we acknowledge it. Let him step aside and enjoy his last days on earth.
We are not talking Fecafoot. We are talking Fecafoot, especially as there is this battle between the Ministry of Sports and the Physical Education, the Minister, of course, Nasir Samuel Kombi, and the President of the National Football Federation, Seydou Mboumbounjouya. We have a sports analyst here with us, Raymond Elume, of course. It's a nice thing that he has come. Fecafoot, after adopting the text, what next? I will begin with you, Raymond Elume.
Well, I think the Cameroon Football Federation had its chronogram. This electoral chronogram was already made public on the 11th of June, validated by FIFA, that in July, they had not yet given the date. In July, we are going to have an extraordinary General Assembly to vote the Code of Ethics, the Electoral Code, and the new statuses, which are just an appendage to the 2012 statuses. The chronogram also provided that once the Extraordinary General Assembly adopts these statuses, we're going to have elections in August and in September at the departmental levels, the regional levels, and then vote in who are going to be the delegates who are going to be present for the elective General Assembly to hold in October. Now, in October, that elective General Assembly is to vote the president and the members of the executive committee. I think it was a simple enough electoral chronogram which FIFA validated, which was proposed by Fecafoot. So all the, just like you said, the noise, which was an unwanted transmission signal that we had this week, was such that we should not either follow with this explicit chronogram, or that you have certain people who think that because there are no more football stakeholders, they want to be able to stop or annul such a process. It is true that we've always had government interference in Fecafoot, simply because the federation, playing football is a public service mission, which has to be assured by the state of Cameroon. So it means that the government will always want to know what is happening in each of the federations which are assuring this public service mission. But now,
why the noise at Fecafoot?
No, the noise at Fecafoot is because the government has always tried to look at the person that we are putting in. Does he follow our interest? It was the same thing that happened in 1999. We had a minister of sports who, after FIFA had found its own federation president guilty, that's Vincent Onana. Joseph Owona was minister of sports in 1999. Vincent Onana, who was at the time president of Fecafoot, was found guilty by FIFA for a scandal involving ticketing issues for the World Cup in 1998 in France. So when FIFA found him guilty and he had to be removed as president of Fecafoot, the text provided that the first vice president takes the interim. And who was first vice president? Iya Mohammed. But at that time, the Minister of Sports wanted instead the second vice, who was Peter Ikundi, to be made interim president. And when he tried to push that through, FIFA suspended Fecafoot in 1999. The then Prime Minister, Peter Mafani Musonge, wrote to FIFA and said, the actions which have been engaged by my collaborator, Minister of Sports, does not in any way indulge the government of Cameroon. A day after, FIFA reversed its decision and the interim was assured by Iya Mohammed. So you see at what stage we've been having a lot of interference with our federation.
The text have been adopted?
No, the text have been adopted today. There were 95 delegates present. 82 voted for the fact that those texts should be adopted. And I think we are moving on an electoral trail. The question that people should be most interested in is the fact that we are hosting the AFCON in 2022, 9th of January. Do we want to continue with an interim nature such that 23 other federation presidents will come here? The president of CAF will be here, the president of FIFA should be here, and we have an interim nature? Or do we want to follow up with this electoral process at the federation and then have a legitimate October, so that we have a legitimate president who can represent and talk football by the time.
For now, he is illegitimate.
For now, he is the interim, not illegitimate.
He is not illegitimate.
He is the interim president.
He is the acting president of Fecafoot. Okay, Chair, we are talking football. We are talking Fecafoot.
Yeah, you know,
after adopting the text, what next?
Yeah, after the text have been adopted, we are calling on them to act fast so that before the October timeline, they should have a president of Fecafoot, so that Cameroon is the football country in Africa, so we should not stand like that. And you know, there's no way the government cannot interfere in our football, as he said. The government is looking to make sure that it's a public service, as they have said. But the point is that the government should understand that politics should not go everywhere. So they should put people who are competent, you know, people who have suffered in our football history. He knows them. So I think the government should understand that politics should be kept for political parties, while Fecafoot should be independent. If there's one thing on the time Mozambique, it will be for his successful operation of the staff. You know, the stadiums have international recognition and they have international standards.
Olembe Japoma.
I'm telling you, I think he has tried his best in that domain. I think it is a chapeau to the system for that.
Congratulations to the President of the Republic.
It's a big one.
You are congratulating him.
It's a big one.
Okay. It's
a reality. The stadiums are a bit of international standard. When you watch the logos they display, I think no, it's wonderful.
Okay, let's have Hassan Sama, Fecafoot, after adopting the text. What next?
Yeah.
Hassan Sama.
Before I enter into what I have to say, I must call the attention of our viewers that I am not an expert in that field. So whatever I say here, they should have the indulgence to maybe pardon me. Because I am instead tempted to ask him the questions, especially to Mr. Alume. Yes, because we have known that there have always been what we call putting in place of text every time. And each time they finish putting the text and they do election, they cancel it. This time they have still put another one, and Alume seems to be very, very confident that something wonderful is going to happen. I do not know. Maybe that was I say I'm tempted to ask a question. What does he think that what has changed? Because I remember very well that the communique from the government bench, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, he wrote to Fecafoot, advising Fecafoot to suspend that extraordinary session, and his letter was highly motivated with text.
With arguments.
The arguments were very plausible. And one of the arguments was the fact that the actors who had to sit there to take that decision, 2009 was supposed to be considered. He gave other points which are very plausible. And FIFA intervened. And humiliated a whole representative of Pobia who had within 2 hours had to bite his tongue. And Mr. Alume here is telling us that they are feeding everything, that only way to put this. Now, my question is, Mr. Alume started citing how Iya came into power. And typical of us, Southern Cameroonians, we would not talk about our own person because we will be there, we are making polemics. Yes, Mr. Alume, I was expecting that you should tell us that the problem that is eating and destroying Fecafoot today started in 2009 because the Francophones, sorry to use that word, I am not using it. Yes. They vowed and swore that no Anglophone was going to sit there, even for one day. Joe Begin there and all of
was the first vice president.
He was the first vice president. All of us Southern Cameroonians, we only wanted that John Begin should be there for some hours. And it's written in history that an Anglophone ever sat there. But they vowed it today. And they went as far as making the international community, FIFA and CAF, to try to see how they can waive that 2009. And this is what is following them till today. He equally mentioned when he was talking about Vanivax, my brother, who was behind Vanivax and who was behind 2019 Fecafoot. They all come from one place and they are not desirable.
Okay, we shall take Raymond Elume after, but let's have the view of Dauda. Dauda,
it's not easy, you know, but we are going to reach the point. What I can just say is that the minister was in a role of conformity to see whether things are well done, and he just drew attention to those to that management of Fecafoot that maybe if there's some certain point were not good, just see it now because tomorrow it can bring problem.
Yeah.
So they can order. They can also consider those from 2009, if possible. It just is on his role. His role of the tutel is to see whether things are
in conformity.
In conformity. That's the first point. Now the second point is that, like my brother was saying, Fecafoot has this chronogram. They were working with CAF and FIFA. They know this different stage. But my also problem is that I don't understand because it just maybe at the eve of the
General Assembly
that the minister took his communique to say that means that there was something in the back who were preparing. That reason why, because that chronogram was known
ever since.
So now he just step out and say this, and even the AG was declared. Everybody know that we have meeting in that day. After we have the subdivision, the officer,
the divisional officer,
who come back in their own position. You have to see now maybe that coordination. That is the problem of Cameroon, you know. But I don't want to emphasize on it because it's sport. It's like music. When they want to entertain you, they bring it out. So they give it in your plate, so you can forget the other one. I don't also want to remain there. But we want AFCON we want it. We need it
to be a success in terms of organization.
Since 1972, we didn't.
Since 1972.
So Cameroonian need
football.
That reason why even in that part we need peace. Let the process go until
we need peace.
Yeah. Just 1 second.
We need peace.
Just one because I know he's going to react. I want to one taken from him. Can you people remember that FIFA suspended Cameroon on the eve of the African Nations Cup? On the eve of what Cameroon organized.
It was in which year?
On 2019, Cameroon organized something which was the Shan.
The Shan.
You know, it was on the eve that they suspended. They came and took Cameroon, and that there was a problem.
That is why we have to be careful.
Are you people? Yeah, we should be very careful because these people they may have their dangerous.
You have to be careful.
That's
what they intend to say.
If
you see the correspondence, they say, we have been working for this thing for long. Now, if you bring another thing, be aware that maybe we can take it others. So it's
so I want to.
You have to be careful.
I had more questions to him than Abdurrahman, whom you people said.
Don't cite people.
You people said
it's not important.
No, Abdurrahman. No, that is a hero. You people said that Abdurrahman. Some people said that Abdurrahman was. Some people said that Abdurrahman.
Mr. Tabi, is it important to cite people here?
No, there's no problem.
Some people said that Abdurrahman, the only certificate he has is certificate Quranic. And that he knows nothing. He was brought here, bundled in a carton and brought here in the train. But Abdurrahman has beaten all the agrégés in Cameroon. There. And Abdurrahman has already indicated to you people. He has already indicated to you people that the modus operandi that you people have taken is wrong.
Mr. Elume will tell us. I'm not sure.
Our technicians are telling us that we still have 1 minute, but I'll ask them to give us 2 more minutes. So we have 3 minutes. Yes. We are concluding. Raymond Elume, what do you have to say about those questions?
In 2013, Cameroon was suspended by FIFA because they said the government of Cameroon was involved heavy-handedly in disrupting the elections which voted at the time Iya Mohammed as president. And at that time that Iya Mohammed was president, in the new vote, beginning there was not there. But from the 2009 votes, beginning there was first vice president. You had people like, God bless his soul, Estombayenga, who fought for the fact that John Bengininde should come back to what they call the status quo ante. That is the old status before the voting. But also, FIFA law states that if I suspend you, I have to put up a standardization committee, which was done, and the standardization committee was headed by Joseph Owona. FIFA statutes also indicate that I can either institute a standardization committee or an interim president, which today we have Bob Monjia as interim president. Now, the other issue is that the CAS verdict, 15th January, just like he said, one day before the Shan, instituted that they have invalidated the elections of 2018, which voted Sedi Monjia as president. But they also said that they used the legal term, ratio legis, that the purpose of our verdict is that the 2009 General Assembly is no more valid. It's as if you are telling me that each of us here, our students are taught by books of 2009. There is a new book commission. So we are using books of 2021. So you cannot be telling us that with football that has changed, we should be able to use people who, some are dead, some have either changed and gone to other federations to be able to rule the current dispensation.
In 2009?
Now, yes.
Was John Bengininde supposed to be president of FECAFOOT?
He was supposed to, that is, as per the text of 2009, he was supposed to assure the interim if the president is not there. But now, this is what the current dispensation is. The current dispensation says, because we cannot bring in 2009, we leave it to the current executive to be able to put in fresh elections such that we continue with the process of having a new executive which is going to lead football. Now, if people say that, okay, there were problems before, FECAFOOT states that if there is an extraordinary General Assembly, the convocation letters have to reach the people 8 days before. So if it was supposed to be on the 13th, it means that by the 5th of July, everybody had received. It means that the minister had received his own convocation by the 5th of July, stating to him that Article 30 of those statutes says you have to give us 2 observers who are going to be present for a General Assembly. Why did he not write that note at that time on the 5th of July? So if you write it 1 day before and you use a DO that has today become a star in administrative procedures, I don't understand why people cannot see the supreme objective. Cameroon is going to host AFCON in January 2022, and we need peace and serenity such that we have the best 24-team event in African football ever witnessed.
We say thank you. It has been a wonderful debate. We say thank you to our technicians, especially Serge Bida and of course Ledu. They added us 3 minutes. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Take another appointment same time next week with the Republican debate, and then we say may God continue to bless the Republic.